Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Look up a run! Make sure they can't even follow up afterwards.
And Watch has found 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire!
Those who find the picks will save the fight, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3! Wins the rival race!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, afternoon, or wherever you are in the world, everybody, and welcome back to Tranquility Gaming Season 8 Knockout Bracket coverage. Today, we settle a score in the Harmony Tier EU, division with our feature match for today, where the EU Scrimbucks, the number 9 seed, take on the number 4 seeded Hellhounds. Are EU Scrimbucks going to try to continue their run throughout the lower bracket, or will they be sent down under by the Hellhounds? My name is Bowsy, and I'm joined here by Capital in the casting booth and Juke and Hippie on production and observing, respectively. Capital, how are you doing today?
Not too bad myself. Had a great lunch today. I'm excited for this EU Harmony Tier matchup. EU Scrimbucks has looked great throughout the season. They had a little blip with that honestly questionable player thing that happened, but afterwards they've been great. They've looked great. They've had that A10 game that was a bit weird, but I mean, Hellhounds also looking to bounce back from a Venice Vipers loss, which was very winnable for them as well. So I'm excited to see both these teams in this lower bracket and see if they can continue their run.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see who gets the better of the two here and which one's going to be moving on to that lower bracket. Of course, EU Scrimbucks having a winless stage in stage number 1. Originally, they did pretty well in that stage, but they ended up having to forfeit all their matches due to an occurrence. That's out of the way, though. This is a new EU Scrimbucks. They're coming back. They did get a loss to A10 Esports in stage number 2, but they came back last week and beat them in a revenge match. Hellhounds, on the other hand, had a really good season altogether. 3-2 stage 1, 2-1 stage 2. But then, of course, as you mentioned, they lost to Venice Vipers in a clean sweep last week. It's going to be interesting to see which team takes the advantage in this series, as we're going to be heading into our first map.
Excited to see Busan has a lot of very good map variety. You get Sanctum. No, that's Nepal. My bad. You have Shrine, which is that's the one with the big bongo, right? That big drum.
Yeah,
or
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary. And then you get to go to downtown, which is also a really fun map to go into. And then you have the inside mecha base. So really shows a lot of variety with comps that can be seen. I really want to see what each team does here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, and you already see the comps already varying on both degrees here. Hellhounds obviously running their composition, and EU Scrimbucks running theirs.
Yeah, EU Scrimbucks has Elixir on their Cassidy, while Hellhounds has the Reaper. They want to be playing a lot more aggressive, that this Reaper trying to get that Reaper into range, while EU Scrimbucks want to maybe even play a bit more passive compared to Hellhounds, get Cassidy into the poke, and then re-engage to help that role for the Reinhardt. But it is a pretty much almost a mirror match.
And we're going to see which team is able to take the advantage. The spawn doors open and the teams start making their way toward the center here of Mecha Base. Already Hellhounds taking that right side approach. EU Scrimbucks taking the left side approach, trying to find that perfect openings that they can take advantage of. Hellhounds going very aggressive here with Lobsy, but the walls are initiated. No kills thus far resulting, but a lot of damage both sides right now. Hellhounds looking for that opening. That's a big freeze, however, coming out from Lagan, able to make sure that Elixir can get that kill on the Lobsy. And now Wallen finds the kill on the Draconis. And now Hellhounds starting to fall one by one. EU Scrimbucks are going to be able to clean up this fight and win the first point cap.
Yeah, the biggest thing that I realized was Mel and Meloria on the Diva did a really, really good job of negating this Reaper damage. While Elixir got a lot of damage off, again, as this fight goes on longer, the Cassidy is going to be getting a lot more damage over and over again. And they want to be taking that fight a little longer. Lobsy got a lot of damage taken and then eventually died. So that's why the Hellhounds lost that fight. It took too long.
Window is first use here from Aiden as the Scrimbucks try to defend here against the Hellhounds, but Dobby finds the first kill onto Wallen. The Shatter is also used here from Wallen, but it only gets 2 on the ground. No follow-up initiated, and there's the Shatter coming out from Lobsy. A few on the ground, and now Hellhound's going to clean up the fight, and that's going to be a 1 fight here for the Hellhounds. They'll be able to get the second cap here at this point, with 29% going over to Scrimbucks.
Yeah, but Logging Grouse, those last 2 picks with the Blizzard at the very, very end, they can get really, really quick recontest here if they wanted to with the Scrimbucks, but it is a really, really good fight by Hellhounds. Really well disciplined as well.
Window initiated here from KK while Hellhounds trying to get their defense on. And already Scrimbucks pushing well in here. Wallen goes through the window. The bomb is used here from Meloria. And Elixir is able to find that first pickup onto Draconis. So already the big DPS power for the side of Hellhounds is out of the picture. Dobby also trying to get a lot of kills here. The Blizzard is initiated as Wallen ends up falling to Lobsy. And Hellhounds trying to recover here from that early loss. And it looks like they might just be able to. Scrimbucks look like they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. And their support's going to get staggered here at Capital.
And Lobsy gets booped off by the Lucio, even with the negate on the CC. This fight is still going on though. Dragon Wolf does commit the beat, and now Elixir does have this high noon to come back here.
Yeah, but Prostitute ends up killing Lagan here. Wallen able to get the kill into Draconis. That Reaper not having the best of times right now. And Elixir's able to get rid of the mech of Prostitute. The high noon used on the high ground, able to get rid of Dragon Wolf, but Prostitute able to eliminate Elixir. And that's going to be a full course retreat here from Scrimbucks now. They don't want to invest any more into this fight.
Yeah, that fight was super, super messy. And in that messy fight, the big thing that happened was Dragon Wolf had stayed alive. They had that beat to really stabilize. Where now Scrimbucks has come into this fight with no ultimates compared to Hellhounds. Other than this window, and they really have to be taking this fight pretty quickly now.
Yep, here comes Scrimbucks now trying to make the engage. The charges come out, and both Reinhardt's knocked to the ground. Wallen trying to swing the hammer, get those sort of kills. Immortality Field's used, and there goes the kill on Lobsy. Now you see the rest of the Scrimbucks trying to get the kills. Wallen died, but at the end of the day, Scrimbucks able to get the kills that they need, and will be able to recap this point after killing out Dragon.
Yeah, Wallen is doing a really, really good job of taking space for Scrimbucks to poke from. I think this Reinhardt duel already is looking really, really good. And I want to see at least what they will be doing with the Shatter and both Blizzards coming online from Scrimbucks and Hellhounds. Hellhounds only need 1 fight really to cap it, and it's going to start right now.
Yeah, but Hellhounds make their way up to the high ground here, trying to get that early and immediate contest. But there's the Shatter coming out from Wallen to Thoth. It's a 5-man Shatter. Bomb also used there from Meloria. Unable to get any sort of kills with that, but still the kills are going in favor here for the side of the Scrimbucks all across the board. And Dragon Conus will be the final kill, and that's going to be another hold here for Scrimbucks.
Yeah, what a massive Shatter by Wallen Das. Dobby tried to counter with the Blizzard, but just they couldn't get enough of that damage negated with that Blizzard. But now Logging and Elixir both have their DPS ults to come into it, and Hellhounds only have this window and maybe a Shatter halfway through the fight. So it's going to be a tough go for them.
And definitely KK has to use that window early as well. Deadeye comes out from Elixir. The Immortality Field is there, but also the Blizzard from Lagan is there, freezing up everybody into a popsicle. Gets 2 with that Blizzard as Wallen gets the kill on the Dragon Wolf as well. All that's left here is in here for Scrimbucks. They might be able to win here on Mecha Base Capital.
Yeah, Scrimbucks really coming back in with his ult economy on the re-engage. Hellhounds, though, do have a lot of ults, and if they can't touch this Reaper ult, could do a lot of damage. See if hopefully they can touch, and they do.
Yep, Dragon Wolf being able to touch. The overtime is triggered here for the side of Scrimbucks. The Shatter was used by Lobs. He gets a few on the ground, but Scrimbucks have already found 2 in this fight thus far. Prostitute tries to get the remech kill, unable to do it, as you see the rest of Scrimbucks cleaning up the point. Prostitute gets the kill onto Wallen to Thoth, and Aiden is also down, but at the end of the day, Scrimbucks are going to be able to come back 100 to 91%. They're going to be taking Busan Mecha Base.
Yeah, and if Mecha Base is an indicator of how the series is going to go, it's going to be a long one. At least this is 191, it was very, very back and forth originally with Scrimbucks taking that first fight with the Cassidy, Hellhounds then coming back into it with a fast pace of that Reaper, and then going back to Scrimbucks. I think if any indicator, this series should be a good one based off of Mecha Base.
Now we're heading into Sanctuary here, which obviously, as you can tell from the compositions here, Capital, lends itself to less of a brawl style.
Yeah, for sure. So Hellhounds and EU Scrimbucks, they both want to do this ball sig, which I really, really do like. Aiden really looks to be playing that Zen, while Hellhounds are going to be on that Ana, and they both have that Tracer. So the difference right now is the Zen and the Sombra, and the Ana and the Echo, which want to be the Ana and the Echo. They want to have a longer fight, while the Zen and Sombra actually want to have a shorter fight. So we'll see how this goes. I prefer the EU Scrimbucks comp, but also Sigma is going to have a lot of trouble getting into Brawl when it doesn't really have anything to shield off, whereas Hellhounds does have the Ana. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see how this goes. EU Scrimbucks setting up in this right room right now with the right drum, and already Lobsy gets orbed out. Aiden says these balls are better, they may not be bigger. Wallen also gets the kill onto Caden with his giant ball. He gets another one on the Dragon Wolf. Both supports dead here for the side of Hellhounds, as they're going to be winning this first fight, and we'll be getting the first cap here, or on the side of EU Scrimbucks, excuse me.
Yeah, Aiden's Discord did a lot of damage there, and the really great orbs coming from them. I really do like the position they're playing in that drum, and it's going to be really hard to dislodge them from Hellhound's side.
You see now the Scrimbucks trying to wait for the engage here for Hellhounds. Hellhounds need to try and make a different sort of approach here, obviously, Capital, so we'll see if they're able to do that. They take this right side approach, try to find out Wallen on that ball, but Aiden has already found Dobby on that Echo. Already a big pick coming out here for the flex support of EU Scrimbucks. You see now Lagging gets the kill on the Dragon Wolf. All of a sudden, KK on your support line, and Scrimbucks going to be cleaning that up as well. Scrimbucks continue their hold here on Busan Sanctuary.
Yeah, it's really hard to retake into this comp because they can do so many hits in such a short amount of time. The Zen is pretty much untouched, and when the Zen is untouched, that is a very, very scary hero. Zen is so good from long range with the Discord Orb and the spam damage with no damage fall-off at all. This Echo really needs to be able to get onto this Sig Zen because it doesn't protect it as much, and Draconis picking off Elixir is a great start to this fight for them. Really clears up those lanes.
Definitely, and also Elixir had that Pulse Bomb online, so it won't be a factor in this fight coming in, but Laggin still has that EMP. Dragon Wolf wants to try and cancel it. They have to be wary about the EMP coming into play as Hellhounds try to make their way onto the point here as slow as possible. Try to find their way in perfectly. The Rock used, unable to get anything. That's a 4-man EMP coming out from Laggin. Already a pick onto Lobsy initiated, but Prostitute able to get the return kill on the Laggin here, so Hellhounds still in this fight theoretically. Prostitute just trying to stay alive, but will get piled on by all the rest of the members of EU Scrimbucks and will get killed out by Mel there. Wallen also gets the kill on the KK, and the kill's going back and forth with Spadrock dying, but it's going to be another one fight for Scrimbucks.
Yeah, EU Scrimbucks did a really, really good job of slowing down the tempo once their Tracer got picked, letting their Tracer get back into the fight, and then re-engaging with the EMP ult. Hellhounds really have to up the tempo once that Ana was taken and really force a brawl with their backline, and they couldn't. Elixir's doing a really, really good job of denying this Tracer in this duel, and now here's the single Admiral.
You already see Lobsy dead. However, overtime has been triggered here for the side of Hellhounds. Draconis gets that pulse bomb kill into Spadrak, but Mel has already gotten 2 kills with the Sigma. No one from Hellhounds is there to touch the point anymore, and EU Scrimbucks will take the first map of Busan pretty convincingly here, Capital.
Yeah, as soon as it went to Sanctuary, I'm pretty sure that's the correct one, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, Sanctuary, once they got to Sanctuary, the comp really did benefit EU Scrimbucks with the Sombra and the Zen. The Zen just got so much work done, was pretty untouched, and, oh wow, what a massive move. But, yeah, just honestly, the comp was played really, really good, and Hellhounds really had to up that tempo. I think they had a lot of trouble playing back into this Echo, and into this, playing this Echo, rather, into the Zenyatta, who had a lot of lane denial with that Tracer, and I really want to see if Hellhounds maybe would play that Echo with like a Diva and a Zen, maybe try and force that tempo even more, and try to make the fight faster and make that Zen more uncomfortable, because Aiden was doing so much damage.
Definitely, Aiden, definitely one of those role stars this year, I'm pretty sure, for flex support in the EU tournament. Definitely showing that sort of skill potential and showing how strong he really is on the flex support here for this team. Now, Hellhounds, they get to choose our second map, which is a 2CP map, a forbidden sort of thing when it comes to the Overwatch of the future, but it still exists here, and they've chosen the classic Hanamura for our 2CP map. Very interesting choice here, especially with the compositions that we saw. This obviously might tailor more to their...
Yeah, I think this pick really does make sense for Hellhounds. I think Volskaya, you really want to be going towards more of that spam, and Divish, and then you go to Temple of Anubish, and you have that spam as well. Whereas this Hanamura, you can run that Sim TP, you really be wanting that Brawl. There's not too many high grounds, especially on first point, to abuse. So I really think Hellhounds, this pick makes total sense to me, and I think this is going to give them the best shot to get back to a 1-1.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to bring this back into their favor. as we head into the second map here pretty soon. Definitely, obviously, an interesting situation here with Hellhounds, obviously losing this first map as well. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to bring it back, because it is worth noting the last time that these two teams were actually featured was in week 4, or week 5, I'm pretty sure, when EU Scrimbucks played Hellhounds, and that was shown to be a clean sweep for EU Scrimbucks. Unfortunately, it was redone, as I mentioned, so we'll see if EU Scrimbucks are willing to prove that they are indeed one of the best teams in Tranquility EU tournament. But we're going to be getting into the second map here, which is Hanamura. It'll be interesting to see which team is able to take the advantage here. Hellhounds will be on the attack first, and EU Scrimbucks will be on the defense first. So we'll see what the compositions are and how these two teams are willing to approach Hanamura.
Yeah, again, from Hellhounds, I'm expecting a TP, especially on this attack. They can really push it. It seems like they want to push this tempo, but are kind of finding trouble how to do it. I think the sim will really help them dictate fights, and I think that'll really play to their advantage. I really want to see how EU Scrimbucks should respond to that if Hellhounds do run that with the TP. I want to know if they're going to be running a brawl back at them, if they're going to be running a double shield type of thing. I know EU Scrimbucks has a lot of comp variety, so I really would like to see at least what they're going to be running. I want to see Aiden on that Ana, hit a bunch of huge anti-nades. Aiden is somebody I'm already looking at. And honestly, like, there's a lot of bright spots from EU Scrimbucks, and Hellhounds do have a lot of bright spots as well, the Lucio. So I really think, yeah, again, with this MTP, they have a Pharah and Ashe to go back in this. I think this is a really, really good counter comp for the sim. I do want to see how this ball can juggle point, though, without a tracer.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how Scrimbucks approach it with this ball composition. But this is what we kind of expected from Scrimbucks. They are a very heavy ball team, Wallen definitely a really good ball player. Hellhounds, of course, no surprise, running this brawl composition, except Prostitute on the Roadhog. I'm hoping that he switches off to a Diva, but it still could provide some sort of help here for Hellhounds if they stick on this Roadhog. Nope, there he goes over the Diva. This is why you don't cast or curse it.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see the Hogs maybe counter the ball, but Diva does make more sense in the long run. I do want to see if Draconis is going to TP to this high ground to this window, and they will, trying to take this left side stair area. And wow, there's a huge knockoff by Log.
Definitely a big knockout there from Log, and being able to separate them, and Elixir able to get that first kill into Lobsy as well. Getting a little bit pressured here on the Ashe, but will be able to just barely stay alive as Hellhounds without their main tank have to try and wait on for the push. The wall is initiated from Dobby as Hellhounds start making their way onto the point, but Prostitute's already lost their mech. It's going to be a lot harder here for Hellhounds to try and sustain. You see Elixir trying to make use of the windows and gets the headshot kill onto Prostitute. Tries to shoot the dynamite from there as well. It's a little bit tighter of a gap there, but still, Scrimbucks being able to clean it up. Wallen will die to Draconis, but at the end of the day, Scrimbucks just getting all the kills that they need, and it's just going to be a one fight here for Scrimbucks at the end of the day.
Yeah, this fight is still super messy, but Logan just going to be raining in damage over and over again. I do like that May wall by Dobby on Aiden to make them having either to move or have to break this wall by themselves. The biggest thing now is once EU Scrimbucks gets into this ult rotation with this Nano, with this Pharah, it's going to be even harder to take point presence and fight all these angles. It's going to take a really, really good engage by Prostitute while distracting the Pharah, so Draconis can maybe TP onto his Ana and look to like slowly clear out all these angles before they go to point.
You already see all the damage going into the supports there on the side of Hellhounds before Lagan actually makes the move.
What a huge
big anti-nade as well coming out from Aiden as Hellhounds make their way to the point here. It might be an engage coming out here from the side of Scrimbucks to be able to try and hold this point here. Admiral gets rid of that immortality field, and now the barrage is initiated by Lagan with that nano boost. 2 kills already in favor of that Pharah, and he's not done yet. Trying to get all the kills he can, trying to finish off here for the side of Hellhounds. EU Scrimbucks have to invest a few ults into this, but once again, they win the fight, and that's already 2 minutes knocked off the clock here for the side of Hellhounds.
Yeah, but Hellhounds are not coming back on their ultimates, but the Blizzard with the most support ultimates, and you'll be pretty close to these tank ultimates as well. While EU Scrimbucks says, while having this Bob, which is huge for point presence, especially in this comp, all they have with that was the Diva bomb as well. I think EU Scrimbucks might have overinvested a bit there. Hellhounds really did a great job of drawing ult out of them, really making these fights as scrappy as possible and as inconclusive as possible, and getting these picks to make sure that they do overinvest in the long run.
Now Draconis switching over to the Cassidy as well, so now they're gonna have some pit scan pressure to try and deal with this Pharah. Also, that's done to get rid of that ball of wall and to make sure he can't get too much value. It looks like they want to try to take this right side, except the May and the Cassidy, I'm pretty sure, are on the left side trying to paint out Meloria, who gets them again the kill on the KK. And now Hellhounds seeming to have a little bit of staggering here, trying to figure out where exactly they want to be. Aiden will get that kill on the Dragon Wolf, and that's going to be another one fight here for Scrimbucks, and now there's only a minute left on the clock for Hellhounds.
Yeah, and Mallory did a really good job picking up the Baptiste and, after the May and Bap were split by the Pharah. Now they have to go. They do have all these ultimates. They have 5 of them to be exact. And Scrimbucks is going to be coming back up on this Nano on this barrage. It has Bob to stall it out. This is going to be a really hard point to take, and this will probably be last fight based on how long these fights have been going.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see if Hellhounds can use all 5 of their ults to the utmost extreme and use them to be able to win this fight. Scrimbucks also building up their own ult bank as Hellhounds going for a very long rotation. They just want to avoid this Pharah from lagging as much as possible, or they want to try to find Wallen, who is in the back line right now at that mega health pack. Bomb invested here from Prostitute. Won't be able to get any kills, thankfully, here for the side of EU Scrimbucks. And now Hellhounds make their way to the point. 16 seconds, no ticks taken thus far, and you already see a lot of damage. The anti-nade, the damage coming in from the Pharah, but that's a big blizzard coming out from Dobby. It freezes up Admaloria, has to use that bomb in response, but already used Scrimbucks. They found so many kills, and Lagan just hits the cherry on top with that barrage. We'll finish it out here for EU Scrimbucks. They'll be getting the full hold here on Hanamura. No progress in the bank for Hellhounds.
Yeah, so Hellhounds really earlier on in the point took a really good fight with how they wanted to set up and create their ultimate advantage, right? But then they had a problem pushing this ultimate advantage because they could never get into a position to use these ultimates on point once they switched off the Symmetra. I maybe would have liked to keep the Symmetra for longer once they get on, so they could TP the point, use those ultimates, and take the point presence. But they never really could get to that. Scrimbucks had their ultimates all back by the time that last fight happened, and then it was almost a done deal by that point. Again, Logan and Aiden having this dangerous combo, and Elixir as well. They all have this dangerous combo of this anti-nade, this Dynamite, and as well as the Pharah damage. And Wallen doing a great job of really distracting and disrupting. Scrimbucks looks like a terror so far.
Yeah, EU Scrimbucks definitely looking like an absolute terror, being able to clean up these fights efficiently. And it looks like they want to try to clean it up fast. They're going on to that Symmetra Brawl style here for their attack. Hellhound's still deciding, but they might be sticking on to Draconis on this Cassidy, which, I mean, considering how much Pharaoh we saw from Lagan and how much effect it played, it makes sense to have the Cassidy on your side.
Yeah, I think Hellhounds, with this, they're wanting to play towards this brawl style, but Scrimbucks is probably going to TP maybe through that window, similar to Hellhounds, that are even 2 points. I want to see how Hellhounds are going to be what their response to the TP is going to be. How are they going to be pushing tempo so Sim doesn't get their beam charge up all the way? Are they going to be playing Pokey out of the Sim range? But how they can't even give up a full tick.
We'll see if they're able to do it. Here come EU Scrimbucks out the doors, continuing with this Sim stock standard brawl. As they try to make their way over to the point, Hellhounds running the stock standard brawl of their own, so we'll see if they're able to make the moves. Elixir bringing them up to the high ground, onto the plateau, which makes sense. You want to try to take a different angle than Hellhounds are doing, which they're holding onto the point, which causes that sort of diversion here for the side of Scrimbucks. They wanted to try and TP straight to the point, but Hellhounds expected that. Oh, but that's a big wall coming out from Lagan, but the charge from Lobby, he gets 3 and knocks 2 off the edge. Lobzy being able to clean up the fight here. Hellhounds will get the first hold here.
Yeah, what a huge charge by Lobzy. Really wins that for them, honestly, because Scrimbucks, they were really getting up to that Sim charge, even though Sim had died to that pin by Lobzy as well. Yeah, Lobzy with a massive pin that really just wins them with that. Really, you feel like it would be reckless, but it just did so much. I really want to see now, will they be preventing Elixir from getting their charge up again? Hellhounds did beat them to the choke last time. Here comes another pin.
Oh, and he gets Elixir again. Lobzy's charge has just been massive, and that's a massive shatter as well. A 4-man shatter coming out from Lobzy. Their Reinhardt will not be contested here today. Hellhounds so far holding 1 minute and 30 seconds off of EU Scrimbucks' time bank, and they're still willing to go at this capital.
Yeah, but I mean, the biggest thing is Lobzy's died here, right? And they have both these tanks have a lot of they have a support and they have a lot of DPS still. And wow, what a pin by Wall. The Hellhounds might have overstayed their welcome in this. Wall now they're both tanks are dead, but both tanks are dead from the Hellhound side, and that might just be enough for EU Scrimbucks to win.
Well, you say that, but Lobzy's back in the fight. Charges the kill onto Wall and the Thoughts, but already you see EU Scrimbucks being able to get those kills that they need, finishing out the fight here for them. And now EU Scrimbucks a little bit sloppy, but they're going to be able to get the second point here, the first point on Hanamura, and will bring us to match point here in the series. But definitely interesting to see that sort of hold here from Hellhounds. They're showing that they are not willing to give up so easily here, Capital.
Yo, Hellhounds showed a lot of really good stuff there, where they were beating them to the chokes, to the choke, not letting them have this choke advantage. Especially, this is a really good one, beating them to the stairs here. And then again, this charge was crazy. The main Lucio goes so far. And wow, I mean, Lobsy's looking great, but again, maybe over pushed, maybe overstayed their welcome, and that was the first domino to fall in the EU Scrimbucks cap of Hanamura first tick.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how Hellhounds respond to this. We are going to be going into a halftime break here. It's going to be interesting to see if Hellhounds can be able to bring themselves back into this, or if you Scrimbucks are going to be moving through the playoffs. We'll catch you at the other end of the break. Welcome back, everybody, to Tranquility Gaming EU Harmony Tier coverage. As you can tell right now, it's a pretty one-sided series here. EU Scrimbucks currently up 2-0 at match point versus Hellhounds in the lower bracket. Bowsy here with Capital as we're heading into our third map, which is Hollywood for our hybrid selection here, Capital. Interesting pick by the Hellhounds.
Yeah, I mean, with the loss of Kings Row, we will miss it. There isn't as many brawl maps on this hybrid. They do have Eichenwald Choice, Hollywood, and then New Bonnie. Hellhounds did show life in that original brawl, in that original point on Busan Mecha Base. We'll see how Hellhounds now look to attack this Hollywood map. I want to see if they run any like monkey, any double bubble here with this on a brig, and they tried to show that on Busan Sanctuary. And I'm excited to see how EU Scrimbucks then will counter that. EU Scrimbucks look really, really good so far, especially on Hanamura defense. But let's see how they go from here and what EU Scrimbucks is going to be on.
Yeah, you Scrimbucks on the defense right now. Definitely an interesting composition, similar to what we saw on Hanamura, except with one difference, or at least two differences on their line.
There's a few differences. You got Aiden on the Zenyatta instead of Ana, Ad Meloria on the Sigma instead of this D.Va, and then Logan on this Torbjorn. Hellhounds does have a really good comp as well, though. Really running the what they, in my opinion, were trying to run on Busan Sanctuary with this Pharah. This Pharah Tracer on a Mercy and this Ball D.Va is going to be really good comp on attack, especially on attack here. I really do like Hellhounds comp, and this is a great boop by Dobby.
Big move there from Dobby, indeed. Also noteworthy, Hellhounds have switched in Axel for the off-tank position, but already lagging gets that first kill onto KK here. A big pick there for the side of the Scrimbucks, but the pile is on there to add Meloria, able to stay alive, and the res goes on to the Ana here, so Scrimbucks still have to work their way through this. Hellhounds have an opportunity to try and win this fight in the aftermath, but it's just a waiting game right now, trying to get those pile drives, trying to get those knockoffs, trying to find the perfect opportunities. You see Lagan's turret now dead here, so they have some resistance here for the side of Hellhounds.
Yeah.
These Scrimbucks need to try and plan.
Yeah, Hellhounds has gotten a lot of map control here, really taking this high ground now, setting up their Ana and their D.Va, and now they're gonna be able to set up the second dive on this core, and the Zen and this and the Ash, the Sigma and the Ball need to maybe, and this they don't really have a lot of killing power, so that's why I do like Hellhound's side, where they can just kind of dive in and they can kind of chill if they get far enough away.
Dobby gets this nano boost online here from KK, unable to get any sort of kills with it, but Wallet has found the kill on the Draconis with that pile drive, and now Axel has lost their mech as well. It's starting to go a little bit wrong here for Hellhounds as they try to make their way to the point. The Molten Core invested here from Lagan to be able to clear out the rest of the point, make sure Hellhounds don't have that free real estate, and now the kills all going in favor here for the Scrimbucks. They're going to be winning this fight convincingly.
Yeah, Scrimbucks puts a lot of pressure on Elixir to hit their shots in this comp because of the killing damage they don't have with somebody with a flanker to go with this Ball. They do have a little bit more appeal with this Torbjorn, so Hellhounds really should be trying to force out this Ball first and then look to dive, because this Ball is playing alone, whereas Lobsy and Draconis can play together.
Now Hellhounds trying to come in with the engage. They have that barrage online, so we'll see if they're able to make use of it. Try to get the boop off, and they will get that boop off onto Mel, so already high ground advantage lost here for the side of Scrimbucks. Mines are invested here from Wallen to be able to split off that choke, but already you see the rest of Hellhounds are right through that doorway, no problem there. Now Scrimbucks need to try and plan out their next advance here. Scrimbucks looking for their opportunity. Hellhounds also looking for their opportunity. Pulse Bomb invested here by Draconis. A good block there from Spadrak to make sure no one ends up dying to it. And he ends up getting the kill onto Draconis as well. It's a big pickoff coming out. And Meloria gets the kill onto the far to clean up the fight. That's another one fight for Scrimbucks. And now there's less than 1 minute and 30 seconds of the clock for Hellhounds.
Yeah, but Hellhounds now has a lot of these ultimates coming back in with this, with the Minefield, this Nano Barrage that can definitely come in. I believe they do have the bomb as well, but Scrimbucks has this trance to counter that, as well as the Sigalt and the bomb. But what a big pick from Wallen Dice, really showing off their skill here.
Axel ends up dying, gets rezzed up by Dragon Wolf, and we'll be able to get that remech online. The mines were also invested by Lobsy, and Dobby finds the kill onto Aiden. That's a big pick off. The Transcendence no longer available to be used in this fight. Mel is able to find the kill to Lobsy, and now the Bob is invested. So is the Flux. Dobby ends up killing out Admiloria with the Barrage, getting rid of that Flux immediately. And now you see Hellhounds starting to make their advance. They're starting to get these kills that they need. Dobby, okay, it gets the kill into Elixir, ends up killing themselves in the end, and it looks like Scrimbucks are actually going to win the fight in the aftermath.
Yeah, so while you saw all that stuff going on with Dobby, Wallen Dice decided they were going to kill the whole backline. Wallen Dice is really showing their expertise on this Ball, really running circles around Hellhound, and now all they have is this bomb, whereas Scrimbucks, because of the death early from Aiden does have this Zenyatta trance, and Logon can really deny points still with this Torball pool. Here comes the Axel Engage Bomb.
Yep, Bomb comes out, unable to get anything, only gets rid of the turret and does a few damage to Lagan. Hellhound's now trying to make the engage. They're trying to scout off his Torbjorn, but the Transcendence is there to protect them. Dobby gets the kill into Elixir, so now one of the hit scan threats out of the picture here for the side of Hellhounds, but Admiloria has found the Ana. Now you see the Hellhounds trying to make the right point, but there's a lot of Molten Core all over it, and Lagan is starting to go to work, gets the kill onto Axel, gets the kill onto Dragon Wolf. The rest of the kills are there, and that's another full hold for the EU Scrimbucks.
Yeah, and again, this is starting to look pretty dominant from them. They didn't have this Tracer to go with this Ball because they have so much trust in Wallen Dice to do so much work on this Ball, and you can see why Wallen Dice really went to work on the Ball, and the Hellhounds had no answers.
Yeah, definitely. And now EU Scrimbucks, all they need is one tick to take the series and move on to the next round of the knockout bracket, where they'll be playing the loser of Feeders United versus Paid to Win in the upper bracket next week. So we'll see if they're able to finish it out here. Do we see them come out with a sort of brawl composition, or do we see them sticking with this ball play style that we've been seeing?
I think the ball's been working so well, you gotta stick with the ball here. I mean, I could see the brawl, but I think ball, why wouldn't you not? And I mean, that comp looks great. Again, I really do want them to run this flanker with the ball, but Wallendice has done so much. It's such a greedy comp with this Mercy and Zenyatta. And if Hellhounds doesn't run a flanker, like they're not hovering right now, it's looking rough for Hellhounds. That's all I'm gonna say. EU Scrimbucks does have only to take a tick, but Hellhounds can do this. They do have a comp with a lot of staying power and a lot of spam damage. They can really draw out these fights and play them super long. They really just got to be clicking on all pages. The synergy with the poles has to be going off, and they really have to make sure they don't overinvest in an ultimates. But this first fight is the most important. It is the neutral. They have no advantage or disadvantage. Probably a disadvantage because Hellhounds ultimates are better than the EU Scrimbucks. So let's see how the EU Scrimbucks looks to take advantage of this better neutral comp.
And how nice of KK to set up a seat for them right on the point there, as you can barely see on the corner. But now Scrimbucks start making their way out with the far right Ash composition that we saw them run on Hanamura defense now, running it on the attack this time, except with a ball Sigma. So we'll see if it's able to work in their favor. Aiden drops very low thanks to that dynamite, courtesy of Draconis, but is unable to get the kill there. As the Scrimbucks start making their way around, try to make this rotation to find their way into the perfect position so that they can win this. Obviously, a different sort of approach here, Capital.
Yeah, I mean, again, the biggest thing they're trying to do is Wallendice trying to get as much space as possible, and that's a really good pick from Dobby to stop them. But they're pushed onto the second back high ground, which is really hard to dive, and Wallendice is gonna have a lot of trouble breaking and killing something through this Bat Mercy with no flanker. Again, this flanker, I'm gonna keep harping on this. It's such an important piece of this comp. And even if Wallendice is the best ball in the world, it's gonna be really hard to break this double shield with this Bat Mercy.
Absolutely. Scrimbucks resetting after losing their Zenyatta and their Ash. Big boop up, however, coming off from either Wallen or Lagan there. Gets rid of all the Hellhounds off the high ground. And KK's still up there, however, so that Baptiste being uncontested thus far. Hellhounds still trying to hold this in the aftermath, and they're doing a pretty good job of it thus far, but they need to try and find that key to end the fight immediately. They keep trying to push in here. Aiden looking for that flank on the Zenyatta. Obviously good. And there's the first pick off. Ad Meloria gets the kill off in the KK. The res out from both sides as Ad Meloria also got killed. But now Lagan is dead to Draconis. EU Scrimbucks starting to struggle a little bit as Hellhounds have found the river. But Elixir gets the kill off on the Draconis. Trying to turn it back here for the side of EU Scrimbucks as now the main hit scan threat is down. But there's the flux coming out from Axel. Gets two up into the air, or at least into the roof. You know, get a little bit hurtful. But Elixir gets the kill in the lobby. Elixir's trying to bring this back here for the side of EU Scrimbucks, and it might just be enough to be able to turn it as another kill on the zombie. Elixir has finally woken up and is trying to turn this fight around for the side of EU Scrimbucks, and will do that. Gets the dynamite kill on the KK. Lagan comes back into the fight and eliminates Axel on that Sigma. All that's left is Draconis' Bob, and Draconis himself. And it looks like Scrimbucks will be able to clean it out in the aftermath. The mercy of Dragon Wolf won't be long for this world. Neither will Draconis, and Hellhounds will be sent back down to the hells where they belong. EU Scrimbucks will be moving through the knockout bracket.
Yeah, I guess all the hype around them isn't from their Scrimbucks. Yeah, I mean, they looked great. They look as Titan-esque as they ever have, even with the forfeits that did occur earlier on. Hellhounds with a rough draw back into them, but you're gonna have to play them eventually when I'll play them right now. But yeah, I mean, Hellhounds, great season. They did great throughout the season. EU Scrimbucks is just on another level. Elixir really turning it on. They have a lot of that individual power. Wallendice, Elixir, Aiden, Ad Meloria, Logon, and I forget their main support. And Spadrak with the boops, of course, on the first map. And they all have that individual pop-off potential, and that's what makes this team so good. But they're great as a team as well as individuals. And hats off to the Scrimbucks, probably with their coaching staff as well. But Hellhounds, great series, great map. Can't congratulate them on more, but they did pretty well for the inaugural EU season.
Definitely. And EU Scrimbucks finally channeling that stage 1 energy once again, finally returning to form and bringing themselves back into this. But now, while all the dust is settled here, Capital, it's time to choose our players of the match. Who are you giving your player of the match to?
Ooh, I mean, would I be biased if I say I'm a flex support and I'm gonna pick Aiden because they looked great. I've been loving Aiden this whole match. They looked great, but the Elixir really did came up clutch, and Wall and Dice was also very, very good. I would have to say, in between them three, I'm gonna go with Aiden because of my bias, but any of those three could have won it.
Yeah, I'm going to give my player of the match to Wallen, who was really good on that ball. And as you mentioned in that Hollywood map, turned it around, really was the engager, really being able to fight alongside EU Scrimbucks and bring them into those engages. Had a little bit of trouble with Lobsy, especially on that Reinhardt play, but still did a really good job throughout this series. I'm giving my player of the match to Wallen Dathos. Everybody on the EU Scrimbucks, though, is a very top talent right now, and I think they are a team that you do not want to underestimate going into the rest of these playoffs here, Capital.
That's a team you don't want to see in lower bracket.
No.
That's a team I wouldn't want to see in lower bracket. Get me out of there. But honestly, yeah, hats off to Hellhounds again. Really did show some great flashes of potential. With some cleanups here and there, this could have gone pretty far. Just make sure, again, come back stronger next season because nobody wins in their first season unless you're in EU this year because it's new. So,
yeah, definitely. Hellhounds showing that potential definitely could be making a run next season in Harmony Tier EU. But that is going to do it for everyone here tonight. But make sure you stay tuned later tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're hosting our Harmony Tier North American feature match, which will feature Shake and Bake versus Jersey Boys. The loser goes home. The winner continues through the knockout bracket. And that's going to be a show you do not want to miss. But that is going to do it for us today. For everybody here in the production booth, including our production manager, Juke, our observer, Hippie, and my wonderful co-caster, Capital, we thank you all for watching. Until we meet again, we hope you have an amazing night.
Thank you.